Hey everyone, welcome to our annual NBA Ass Awards. I'm Hana.
And I'm Mev.
And this is basically us showcasing the opposite of NBA awards. Yeah, so first we're going to start off with Worst Defender of the Year, Luka Doncic.
I feel like a lot of people saw that coming just because when you see Luka play, he doesn't play like any defense. And that's okay to admit. Like some people might say, oh, Trae Young, he's the worst defender. But if you actually watch Trae Young play, he tries extremely hard on defense.
He definitely puts some effort in that Luka doesn't at all. But his coach, Jason Kidd, said that Luka needs to play defense. And he said it's also no secret that other teams will put Luka on pick and rolls. Usually a coach addresses the whole team about defense. But when you say someone's name straight up, oh, this person needs to play defense, you know how bad it really is. Like how bad their defense actually is.
Yeah, and everyone gets it. Like Luka exerts a lot of energy on offense. He's not in the most shape. He needs to bring it. He needs to work in the offseason, get a little bit more better at defense, try harder.
I think he definitely has the ability to play defense. But obviously if you're averaging like 30 plus points per game like Luka and you have to carry offensively, especially the Mavs this year, he had to carry them. It's hard to play defense. I think that's why a two-way player in this NBA is really, really valuable. So for our next Ass Award, it's going to be Worst Shooter of the Year, and that is
Killian Hayes, and that's because he has the worst effective field goal percentage in the entire NBA with 42.8% and the worst field goal percentage in general with 37%.
He also has the worst true shooting percentage in the league, and I think it's like 45%. He's still a young player. He has so much room to improve. He started playing a lot better towards the end of the year, and don't never forget, he was a lottery pick. I'm pretty sure he was picked 5th by the Pistons. Yeah, he's the worst shooter of the year this year. So up next for our prestigious awards, it is Flopper of the Year. And I think everyone knows who this is.
Dun dun dun.
Mr. MVP.
Joel Embiid.
Okay, you don't need to say everyone's name. Joel Embiid.
He is here. Smart initiates a
And look at this. The two players go to the floor.
So next is our least improved player. Drumroll, please. Jordan Poole.
I don't think that's a surprise. Everyone saw how he had so much finesse in his game. The scoring looked easy to him. He gained so many stands. Like, he was just such a fun player to watch. To now being almost unplayable.
He went from a big piece of the championship team and helped them win that championship to unplayable in the playoffs a year later. He looked disastrous. He was hurting them when he was on the court. So what happened to him?
I don't know. Some people think, oh, was it when Draymond punched him across the face?
A lot of people do think that that played a big part just because it hurt his relationships with Draymond and made him uncomfortable on the court. But the same thing is, like, he put up like 20 points per game, which is obviously good, but his numbers in the playoffs took a huge dip in scoring and efficiency, and you really can't help your team win playoff games that way. And he was really a non-factor in every playoff series compared to last year when he was, you could say, their 3rd or 4th best player in that championship run. I don't know what happened to him. I still think that he will bounce back. He is a good player. And, well, yeah, we'll see what happens with Jordan Poole, our least improved player. So, for our most disappointing team of the year, they were my picks to win the championship, and they lost in the first round. And that is the Milwaukee Bucks. The Milwaukee Bucks, they were 90% of people's picks to win the championship this year. And they lost in the first round to the 8th-seeded Heat. And obviously, we all know now how good the Heat are, but I think the Bucks still should not have lost to the Heat.
Especially being the first seed, multiple-time MVP on that team, and another all-star as in Drew Holiday. There was really no excuse.
I feel like Giannis still wasn't himself. He did suffer that injury, and it looked bad at the time. They had a huge fourth quarter lead in games 4 and 5, and they blew it. And a lot of people were so confused how they blew those leads in back-to-back games.
People are like, he's injured, but he missed so many free throws. You can't be missing that many free throws as a superstar. They would have won the game if he just made a couple of them.
Yeah, and I feel like obviously if Giannis never got injured, this would be a whole different story. That's when all the momentum shifted to the Heat. So I feel like a lot of people won't really agree with this one, but I feel like there's a good case for it. Worst coach of the year, Jason Kidd.
No, I think a lot of people would agree with this. Like, especially during the regular season, he just tries to rely on Luka Doncic.
Towards the end of the season, the Mavs needed games against tanking teams, right? And they completely gave up on the season.
And that's absolutely disgusting. They had a shot to get to the 10th seed, and from there, who knows? They could have made the playoffs from there.
And a lot of just give up. Yeah, and a lot of people are obviously blaming Kidd. A lot of Mavs fans want him fired, and it's because he has bad adjustments, bad rotations.
He has no defensive game plan either. Like, he is just useless.
He should have brought out a lot more in this team, especially with all that star power. Yeah, I think that's why Jason Kidd is probably the worst coach of the year. Okay, guys, so for our most prestigious award, drumroll please. Least valuable player, Ben Simmons.
I don't think that's a surprise. His best season in the league was his rookie season. Like he has not improved
I
since
disagree
his rookie
with that,
season, and it's hilarious.
But yeah, like he started to regress by the year. After that humiliating loss to the Atlanta Hawks in the playoffs a couple years ago, he was never the same, in my opinion.
When you see him, it's like crazy how he's washed at such a young age. He's still like 20, like 27. Like what is?
Yeah,
this?
so you used to be able. He never had a shot. Everyone knows he has never had a 3-point shot. But the great part about his game was that he was a threat down in the post. A lot of people would be scared to let him go in because he would score. He would dunk the ball. He would drive in. He would draw so many defenders in, leave wide open 3-point shooters. He was the point guard, and he was a great point guard. A lot of people loved him running the point. He led many successful seasons with Joel Embiid as he played the point guard. He didn't need the shot for that back then. Yeah, his post touches are gone. He has no touch at all in the rim. He just can't score anymore, and sometimes it's a liability to have him on the court. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment who you guys think we should have put down for each of the Ass Awards.
But thank you for watching. Follow Hana Hoops, Mevi Bear, Splash Sisters P on Twitter. Subscribe. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. Have a great rest of your week.